programs that we offer here in Canyon School District for students at every level, and that's really the goal of tonight's session, is to be able to give you an overview of some of those programs and then hopefully address any questions that you might have if you've heard about the programs or from the things that we tell you. So I'm going to take a second to just introduce our panelists and their area of specialty, and then we will each take turns giving you a brief overview of some of the key points of the programs that you have literature about now right in front of you, and then we will turn the time over to you to ask any questions that you might have. So we have with us Michelle Harward, who is a specialist in the Instructional Supports Department, and her background and expertise is in dual immersion and world languages. Janet Goebel is our Director of Career and Technical Education, so we'll be talking to you a lot about the programs that she oversees. Sherry Jorgensen is also in the Instructional Supports Department and is our District Art Specialist. And as I mentioned, I'm also from the Instructional Supports Department, and that department also supports gifted and talented as well as some other specialized programs as well. So let's start, why don't we start with CTE, Janet? Sure. I'll let you give a little overview of some of the CTE programs.
Okay, so as Amber mentioned, I'm over Career and Technical Education, which is referred to as CTE, is the acronym it goes by, and we service from K through 12. In the elementary schools, we have career days and start exposing students to what careers are. In the middle schools, your middle school student has a requirement to take college and career awareness and digital literacy. Those are both CTE courses. There's also other offerings at the school depending on what middle school your student goes to. And then at the high school level, we have a full array of career and technical education programs. This bookmark up here, if you want to see a little movie, you can click on that. But the bookmark on the back end, please, and help yourself. Don't be shy. Take one of everything. The back end, or the back side of this, really talks about the different career clusters that we service. And for most of the comprehensive high schools, we have pretty much a large percentage of these courses. And so our mission is to help students identify what they want to be when they grow up, if you will, and to try and steer their direction as to what college programs they might want to be in as well. Almost all of our programs, I think everyone will pretty much agree, you need some kind of post-high school college training, whether that's at a school, a 2-year program, a 4-year program, or depends on what you want to be. So in the comprehensive high school, we have everything from a business course, such as accounting, to a culinary program, to an auto program, or if they want to be a doctor, we have students who enroll in health science courses, such as medical anatomy and physiology at the regular high schools. Now, beyond the regular high schools, we have our Canyons Technical Education Center, and this handout talks about what those programs are. These programs are the high-end, very encapsulated programs that all offer industry certifications. While we offer some industry certifications at the comprehensive high school, at the Tech Center, they actually come out with a certificate as a CNA, or they come out certified to be a medical assistant. And so these programs are really for the students who know what they want to do. They want a career in healthcare. And so they're going to come over and get a CNA certification or a physical therapy or whatever it is. All of these courses are concurrent enrollment, meaning they all carry college credit. Even our cosmetology program, they're all college bound. And so the students who come to CTech really need to plan ahead, because it takes a large portion of their schedule. About half of their schedule is a junior or a senior in high school. But the programs are really great. So give you another example, at the high school they might take an entry-level computer programming course, and then they might come to the Tech Center to specialize in cybersecurity and get those industry certifications so they can be hired directly out of high school. So our overall mission is to give students lots of experiences. We Also have a full work-based learning program where we connect students with industry and try and give them as many experiences with industry as possible. I remember one time we had a student who was going to be a veterinarian, and that's what they wanted to be, and by golly, I'm going to do it. And I said, great, let's send you on a job shadow experience over here at the animal hospital. Excited. They come back and go, I didn't know they were going to do that to Fluffy, and it smelled really bad. No, I don't want to do that. And you know, that's a valuable experience. And so we are in the business of giving students lots of experiences. If any of your students want a job shadow type experience, think they want to be whatever it is, we can line them up with an industry professional to give them that hands-on experience, because finding out what they don't like is just as important as finding out what they do like, and we'll save you a lot of money in the meantime. So that's kind of a general overview, and of course, you know, at the end I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Janet?
So who should we ask?
We're going to do questions at the end, if that's okay, so that you've got plenty of time that we can move through. Michelle, go ahead and let's talk about dual immersion and world language.
We are offering immersion starting in most of the language starting in first grade all the way to 8th grade and then to high school. Also, the world language are mainly in the middle school and in the high school, but your students can still do higher level classes and earn college credit by taking the AP exam and then enrolling in the bridge classes. That you follow the immersion program track or that you follow the world language track. If you pass the AP exam, you can earn college credit and then after that earn university credit. So it's a win-win. We offer in immersion. We have the language Chinese, French, and Spanish. In forward language, the middle school have French, Spanish, and Chinese. And the high school, in addition to those three, have also German, American Sign Language, and we just started Japanese at Jordan High.
Can we keep the conversations in the back down? It's hard to hear. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I'm translating.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
interpreting to her.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So,
We'll speak louder.
Okay.
so your students can start, if they start at the immersion program, they can start kindergarten for Spanish at Mid Valley, and then they can continue all the way through. Take the AP exam in 9th grade. If they pass the AP exam, beautiful, they can go on to the bridge classes where they earn university credit. If they don't pass, then they can just go ahead and do the AP for another year, try again, and still go into the bridge classes and earn university credit. Those university credit are recognized through the University of Utah, Weber State. There are 6 colleges in the state of Utah who recognize those credits. In the back of the immersion flyer, you can check the Canyons District School, and all the information for the GLI program is there, kindergarten all the way through. And after that, on the top, you have also the state program. So,
Thank you, Michelle, and we'll turn the time over to Sherry Jorgensen to talk about all of our arts programs.
So we offer a lot in the way of arts in the district. In elementary school, we have 24 of our 29 elementary schools that have a certified arts teacher through the Beverly Taylor Sorensen Arts Program. We have several paraprofessionals, so every one of our elementary schools has some type of art form, and 11 of our schools have 2 or more. So your kids are getting exposure to either visual art, music, movement. It's really called movement. It's not dance. We're not doing choreography in elementary school, but it's and all of those courses and theater are all integrated into their core classes. So they integrate those arts concepts with core concepts. So kids who have exposure to that Beverly Taylor Arts Learning Program in our elementaries get a lot of core reinforcement. It's a lot easier for kids to remember the cycle of plants when they act it out or when they sing it. Much easier to remember. So that, and then also in our elementary schools, we offer orchestra before or after school for 4th and 5th graders. If the orchestra program is not at your particular school, that doesn't matter. You can still take it at any of the schools whose schedule works for you. My own granddaughter went to Altera that didn't have orchestra, so she went to orchestra at Edgemont because it worked out perfect with her schedule. So that's always available if you're interested in that. If you go to our QR code on that little arts handout, there's a tab there for elementary orchestra, and you can see what schools offer orchestra and get some more information that way. My email and all that's on there as well, so you're welcome to email. In our secondary schools, all of our schools have art forums. Our high schools have all 4 art forums, and some of our high schools do a lot with media arts as well. Our middle schools, they all have music, band, orchestra, and choir, and they all have visual art. Some have dance also, and some have theater also. So those are all opportunities, but you don't have to have taken it in middle school. If you decide that you want to be a thespian or an actor in high school, you're welcome to start in theater in the high schools. Same with the other classes. We also offer some other things in addition to during the school day. We have our Canyons Youth Symphony, which is open for students elementary through 9th grade, and that is for kids who audition and want to be involved. It's an extra after-school activity. They rehearse once a week, just to give them more opportunities to play symphonic music as opposed to just string orchestra. We also have our Canyons Youth Chorus that is new this year for students in grades 6 through 9. Again, an extension of their day, that they can do some things with kids from other schools, build that community. We have what we call Art Stock in the high school and Art Fest in the middle school. They're visual art competitions that are really fun for the kids. We do district art shows at all 3 levels, elementary, which is run by Sandy City, but elementary shows, middle school show, and the high school show, those are all in the spring. And then our elementary schools and our secondary schools have a lot of opportunities for assemblies and performances by what we call the POPS groups, which is professional outreach programs for schools. That is legislatively funded, and there are groups that are completely vetted, such as the Utah Symphony, the Utah Opera, Ballet West, the Utah Museum of Fine Arts. All of these groups come together to do outreach in the schools. And those opportunities are available. We take all of our 4th graders and all of our 5th graders to see the Utah Symphony every year. And some kids don't even know they're interested in that until they try it or hear it or see it. And that's what we want to do, is provide lots of opportunities so kids can figure out what they're interested in doing in the arts. But the QR code will take you to our webpage, and there's lots of information there.
Sherry. And then the last part of information that I'm going to share with you all is about our advanced learning programs. So we do offer a wide variety of options for students who are gifted or advanced in their learning. So in addition to what the regular classroom teachers provide in terms of extensions and support at our elementary and middle schools, we also have a magnet program that is designed especially for students who are very gifted and require such a level of support for that level of advancement that they require and qualify through testing for a specialized program. So that magnet program is offered at 2 of our elementary schools, Sunrise and Peruvian Park. The testing for that program typically occurs right now, and it happens in our elementary schools right on site. So students are able to access that testing, and then families are notified of whether or not students qualify, typically in December or early January, so they can make the decision about whether or not the magnet program is right for them. We also have a magnet program for our gifted students at Midvale Middle School, and that is also a test-in program. In addition to those options for students who are advanced, when students get to high school, you'll notice in these 2 handouts right here, we have outlined many of the options that are available across all 5 of our high schools. So those opportunities include a wide variety of advanced placement courses that are directed, coordinated, and vetted by the College Board, which is a national organization. All of our high schools offer, like I said, quite a variety of programs for advanced placement courses. We also have at one of our high schools a Magnet and an International Baccalaureate program that serves all students across the district. So again, regardless of what your neighborhood school is and your boundary school, you have the opportunity to attend and permit into these programs. The International Baccalaureate program, where there's more details in the college and career pathways during high school document, outlines a course of study that is very rigorous and aligned to international standards versus just state or the United States standards. And then finally, as Janet started to mention, with the CTE program, we have a wide variety of concurrent enrollment courses. Concurrent enrollment means that you were enrolled in high school concurrently while you were enrolled in college courses. So you have the benefit of taking a college course while you were in high school, paying a significantly smaller registration fee, but actually earning college credit that carries with you to your institute of higher education in most cases in Utah, and then often also outside of Utah. Every high school has dozens and dozens of concurrent enrollment courses between what they can access through CTE, but also just what they offer within the actual school system. So as you can see, there's a lot of opportunities for specializing and choosing your individualized pathway for advanced courses. I will highlight that although we have a magnet program that is a qualifying program and you test into that, our AP, our IB, and our concurrent programs are available to all students. You do not have to be advanced or gifted to attend and participate in those programs. You just have to be willing to put in the work, and all students have been successful in all of those types of courses and programs, and so we want to continue to encourage all of our students to take a risk and try some of these advanced courses, because it really is a fantastic preparation for whatever their pathway is post-high school. One of the things that we have learned from a lot of research is that regardless of how well a student even performs in a concurrent enrollment class or an advanced placement class, they are setting themselves up for more success in whatever their post-secondary pathway is, and that just continues to bear out in how our students are performing when they leave our system here in Canyons. So we gave you a real Cliff's Notes version of many of the programs that we have. I want to now turn the time over to you to ask questions. So we'll do this in some old school classroom style. If you'll raise your hand if you have a question, and I will call on you, and then if you will just let me know your name so that I can be respectful and call you by your name. And then we'd love to know where you have students attending in our system, and then you can tell us who your question is directed to, and we'll go ahead and answer that. Go ahead.
Brittany, I have a child here at Alta. I have two at Eastmont Middle and one at the brand new Glacier Hills Elementary School. My question is geared towards my high schooler regarding the CTE program. So let's say she takes a class or two, but she doesn't get the full certificate. Are those credits still transferable to a university when she decides to go to college?
Yes, as long as it's a concurrent enrollment course, and we do a lot of concurrent enrollment at Alta here under the CT umbrella. So it depends on which course. I'd have to know specifically which courses you're talking about, but many of our CT courses are concurrent enrollment through Salt Lake Community College.
Okay, so it's through SLIP. And is that the only one? Like, it doesn't matter, I'm just curious that any concurrent enrollment class will be through SLIP.
They are our provider for our region. At the Tech Center, there are some that are not through Salt Lake Community College because they don't have the programs. As an example, our cosmetology program is through College of CEU, Eastern, College of
Eastern Utah.
Yeah, there you go. I think it's Utah State University, Eastern campus actually. But we do have some exceptions to the Salt Lake Community College, but because they are our service provider here in this region, we have to go to them first. And
No, that's good to know, because then, yeah, she can transfer there
Right.
after graduation anyways. Okay, thank you.
sure.
My name is Guillermo, this is my wife, Gina. The question is on the supporting advanced learners towards achievement. What kind of test do you guys run?
Really good question. So we we require a cognitive, actually, did we just change this? No.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. Took me a minute. Our specialist who's over the program is out of the country. So even though I'm filling in, some details sometimes escape me, so I apologize. So the students will be asked to take a cognitive assessment that looks at their verbal skills, their reasoning, their overall problem solving, and from that, they arrive at a percentile ranking score is what we give them based on their score. And then depending on their score, they qualify or they don't for the program.
Gotcha, thanks.
You bet.
And is it still you guys use the Iowa test or something like
That is the one that we
That's what they changed.
just eliminated. Yep. So we have enough achievement data, fortunately, in our school district that we can access a lot of how the students are performing academically. And so then we just look at those broader skills of cognitive development.
My name is KV. I have a high schooler in Gilbert. My question is regarding the curriculum you guys follow for AP program. Is there any standard, like all the high schools are following the same curriculum, or is it like specific to each high school, they follow their independent curriculum?
Really good question. So we are bound to the standards set by the College Board. There is a little bit of flexibility sometimes in how the materials and the assignments are organized, but overall, everybody is teaching to the same standard because the tests on the specific competencies outlined by the College Board for those courses. So there may be slight variances from high school to high school in terms of, like I said, some of the materials or maybe how some of the assignments are organized to be able to prepare them for that level of mastery, but they are teaching to the same standards.
Thank you.
Is there a question back here?
This is Anand here. I have a high schooler going to Hillcrest. In continuation to Kevin's question, is it that the teachers for each subject have too much of leeway to direct the lesson plans as per their will and wish? Because I hear that somebody taking a biology course in school A, high school, in the Canyons district, has a different way of getting homeworks and the lesson plans, whereas in school B it's totally different. So how is it overall monitored to make sure that the lessons are going on as per the plan? Like, is there a control around that?
A little bit. As I said before, the teachers are held to those same standards because that's how the students are being assessed on those competencies. But every teacher utilizes the practices that they feel their group of students needs to be able to be successful. So because of that, there is some variance in how the teachers teach. We do provide on-site coaching for all of our teachers, and every content area has a specialist at the district office that tries to support the teachers in improving their practices and how they can continue to be innovative to support student development. There's always going to be variance because we all have different personalities, and I think we all understand that. But so I don't know that I'd call that quality control as much as just ongoing support to make sure that all of the teachers are maximizing their own potential so that they can get the most potential from the students.
Just a continuation to the same question. Now, as a parent, when I ask my child about, okay, so what are you learning now? What is your learning plan for next 2 months or 3 months? They have no visibility of what they're going to be taught, in the next class. All they know is what they were taught today. So as a parent, if I don't know the logical flow of what they are going to go through, for example, in math, what are they starting now? What is the plan lined up for next 2 months or 3 months? Then as a parent, I can only worry about, okay, this is what they taught today, but what are they going to teach next? If I don't have that holistic picture, it becomes difficult to provide any kind of help or guidance. So I just wanted to know, why is there no textbook concept? I understand, textbook confines the learning, but at the same time, it puts a line path for, proper learning. And then there is reference material and add-on material that people can refer to. So why is there no textbook concept into the learning building?
There typically are. Again, it depends on the course, and I would really encourage you to reach out to the teacher because I would say the high majority of teachers do have kind of a syllabus mapped out for the year, and they've organized what concepts they're going to teach over the course of the school year. So even though your child's just telling you what they might have done today or for the week, if you reached out to the teacher, I'm sure the teacher could give you a document that they've already had organized, and potentially is even in the Canvas course that your child has access to. They can look at that sequence and share that with you. So I really can't, for any of these programs, I think it's really vital to have that relationship with the teachers and be communicating with them because If your kids are anything like mine, you're not getting the full answer of what's happening in school, right? So it's really important that we communicate with the teachers because they can really give you, they can fill in the holes where kids aren't giving us the information.
Right.
So, continuation to this question and your answer. I totally agree to have a good relationship with the teacher so we can learn better what's their plan and vision. But how do we build that relation without meeting them or without like knowing them? So, and when does, how do you guys have planned like mid of the year or early in the year to have a parent-teacher conferences so that we meet all the teachers? Because it's been almost like a couple of weeks, they're already into the school. And they're getting used to it, I totally understand, but when does this come out? Because my daughter, sorry, I'm Kashi, my
You're
daughter
good.
goes to Carmel Canyon.
Oh, thank you for doing that. So the parent-teacher conferences happen in a couple of weeks. They typically happen at the end of September. And so that will give you an opportunity to meet with the teachers and have individual appointments or meet them face-to-face. Or a lot of our schools are also continuing to do electronic conferences through Zoom if that's better for your family situation. But even if the conferences are too far away for you to meet, you always have access to email your teacher and set up an appointment. Every teacher has prep periods and time scheduled before and after school where they can meet with parents. And again, we've all learned so much about how to utilize technology to be more convenient to be able to build those relationships. So whether that's a conference call or a video conference, you can set those up anytime. So you don't have to wait until the end of the month if that's something that you're really wanting to get a hold of right now.
Thank you. And follow up to that, not related to the teacher, but related to the counselor. How do you know the counselor is doing the best to their kids? And do you have any kind of metrics to show that? Because the reason I'm asking is my daughter tried something and tried to reach out to the counselor, and the plain and straightforward answer from the counselor, I'm helping the seniors, I can't help you. And that was like pretty disappointing, especially
Was that in May?
for, no, it was in June or end of June or probably end of the year. Even after that, after my daughter come back, it was very less responsive from the counselor, and she's pretty strict. You schedule an appointment, come and meet. And I tried to tell my daughter, go and talk to the principal, but she's worried because, that impacts her in other participation, like, to the president of student council or something. So how do you make sure the counselors are meeting the expectations?
Are you asking how counselors are supervised or just how we're supporting counselors overall in general?
One, supporting the counselors overall in general. Two, how, like, you grade your kid and you grade the kids and see they're like, they pass the exam. But you should have some kind of a metrics on the teachers to see they're doing their job right? So if the teachers or counselors are not doing their job right, that will have an impact on, this will ripple impact on the kids. So how do you make sure that?
So our counselors also have, just like teachers, they have an overarching comprehensive guidance set of standards that they follow, which includes some specific criteria that they're supposed to be meeting over the course of the year as well, in addition to the very specific things that they're doing with their caseload of students, so to speak. Unfortunately, in Utah, the caseload of students from counselors to students is very high. I think our counselors have, Mindy, you've been in a high school, especially 400, 500 kids.
We're in the hundreds for sure.
So each counselor is supporting, close to 500 students in a high school. And so I think that one of the things that you can pair with the support that we're providing to counselors and the criteria that we set for them is teaching your students, like you have, to be really persistent advocates and to not give up if they were told they don't have time right now, but to continue to follow up with the counselor. And certainly it doesn't hurt for you as parents to also provide that advocacy and reach out to the counselor as well to say this really is an important conversation. We'd like to schedule some time. If you are too busy right now with your caseload of seniors, is there somebody who can help us in the meantime until you have things off your plate? So
Unfortunately, it was very difficult. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
I have a feedback. Is it possible for counselors of the, in Canyon district have it open hours for the counselor. So it doesn't need to be like whole day, just for hour in a week or 2 hours. So that open hours, anybody can drop in and ask any question and then just move on. So that way.
That's a really great suggestion, and I will definitely take that feedback back to the department that supervises them. That's a fantastic solution.
So that way, because I agree, there are 400 students, but not all 400 really need help. But there are somebody who really need help, and the counselor is not helping. That actually has a lot of impact on the kid who is trying to achieve more and more.
Right, and I think that that's a really good suggestion, so thank you for that. I think we've got time for 1 or 2 more questions. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Anna. I have 2 daughters in Alta and 1 in Indian.
Thank you, Anna.
And my question is for you about CTEC. I think the program is really good, but I see that there's more kids willing to enroll than the opportunities that you offer. So when is the best time to get enrolled and make sure that you get in?
So that's a really good question. We used to open enrollment in December, and we've changed that because we have our open house in January. And so this past year, what we decided would be better is to have our open house so everyone has an opportunity to see the program, see what they are interested in, and then we open the enrollment the next day. And so it is pretty much a first come, first come, first serve. We do not put any barriers on that because we want students of all levels to have access to those programs. So yeah,
So
like
it happens in January.
it does, yeah. I could look on my phone and tell you the exact date. But our open house, I can tell you the date of that. I'll look on my phone and tell you the date. And then it's the next day, I believe it opens at midnight. And some of the programs are very popular and they fill up really quickly. And we have long waiting lists, that's true.
You're going to have to open another place.
Well, in our dreams, we would love to open an expanded tech center, so.
So I'm gonna piggyback on that really quick. Is that only applicable for CTECs?
Yes.
Okay, so if they do SLIC, that's a different,
Well, you're kind of talking about 2 different things. So the CTE program, or classes at the comprehensive high school, many of them carry concurrent enrollment credit. All the programs at CTEC carry concurrent enrollment credit, so it depends on what you're enrolling in. If you're enrolling in a CT course at your comprehensive high school, Alta, Brighton, or whatever, you just go through their regular arena scheduling. If you want to come to the tech center, that's a separate enrollment process off our
It's its
website.
own campus, and students can actually take a bus from their high school to the tech center and back.
and that's what has like the interest that you're talking about.
That's where they
Okay.
have a lot of the certification and the, what did you call them, cohorted, or, what did you call this part?
We have industry certifications
industry-
and credentials
The
like.
credentials, that's what it is.
Yeah, the
credential
credentials.
program.
So they would end up having the credential to be an EMT straight out of high school as an example.
Those are offered at the center.
We do offer a lot of industry testing, particularly Microsoft industry testing at the comprehensive high school, so they can get those certifications as well. A lot in auto is also. CT is a big thing. We have about 125 different courses under that umbrella. Did that answer your question?
So one of the things, and we probably should have put this on any of our, maybe it's actually on here, there might be, we have a course catalog of all the courses that our district offers that gives you details of every single course, and so you can see which ones would be offered in a high school versus the tech center. And the tech center courses are the ones that she's talking about that have a separate enrollment that fill up really quickly.
The course catalog is on the district webpage
Thank
under
you,
the
Sherry.
parents tab.
And that has all the middle school and high school courses that are available. Is there a question back here?
So the open house for CTEC will be on January 5th, Thursday, January 5th from 4 to 8.
So the enrollment starts that same night or
I believe it starts at midnight.
that's the
Midnight to 6.
Midnight to 6.
online?
Yeah.
Just do it online on your.
Reminder that you're good.
Thank you.
She just had a question about the AP classes and the concurrent enrollment. So she would like to know what is the difference on those and how does she know if her daughter can go, so who does she go to talk about it?
Well, first, your daughter can take any of those that she is interested in. There's, for most of them, there's not a prerequisite, and they just enroll during the open enrollment period for course registration. The concurrent enrollment courses, we partner, as Janet mentioned, with Salt Lake Community College, and we offer college credit for those courses. The advanced placement is on a national standard scale, and students have to pass a test in order to earn any college credit. Those are the most simplified differences.
So
Go
I
ahead.
have a question separate. Is there someone in the district or in each high school, someone that speaks, Spanish or other language that
Yes.
can tell them? Because, for example, she didn't know that this existed.
Yes.
And I have
We can
other
help you.
friends- I have other friends too, kids that are in 12th grade now. And I was asking them because, I said, are you guys gonna do something, go to CTEC or do this? And they're like, what is CTEC? Because they don't speak Spanish, they just got in the country, and they don't know. And I don't know if this is given either in another language too, that would be a.
That's really
The
good
website
feedback
is
for us.
Spanish.
Okay, yeah.
But I think that that's a really good point. So at every high school, they do have translators available, and so we need to just make sure that we, and supporting them with identifying those courses. And then I think that's good feedback for us to do continual outreach to make sure that all of our students are able to access that information and make those decisions. So thank you for bringing that up.
My daughter's one of them, and I think it's very important to get this information to them at the beginning of the school year. We arrived last year in July, they had no idea this existed, and I think it's a very good program that should be available for newcomers.
I think that's a really good point, and probably when they start high school,
And
as
middle
ninth
school.
graders. No, exactly. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, at
So,
least end of the middle of the middle school,
yep.
so that they know
It's a good
what
idea.
they're getting into next year, and they can prepare applying, because some of this stuff I don't know when the registration open, but it's always good to know before the registration. So that
Absolutely.
they can apply, otherwise there's no use, right? Even though I come to know, if I have other kid, yes, it will be helpful for the other kid, but not for the current kid.
I think that you bring up excellent points, so that's a great area for improvement for us, so we appreciate your candor with that information. It is time for you to move on to your next session, so we really appreciate your attendance tonight and hope that you got some good information to make plans for your children. Have a fantastic evening.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I have